We'll go ahead and get started. Thanks, guys, for coming up on the last whim. Sometimes these things happen like that. I want to introduce Assistant Chief Waters, Assistant Chief of Operations and Investigations. These are the people you'll hear from today. We have Ryan Mears from the Prosecutor's Office, and you have Deputy Chief Bill Laura from Investigations. Assistant Chief Waters.
Good afternoon. As Kendall said, my name is James Waters. I serve as Assistant Chief here with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. We're here today to talk about an operation. It's a joint investigation which resulted in the dismantling of a significant criminal enterprise operating here in Indianapolis. This is part of an ongoing effort to identify and disrupt operations like this from perpetuating violence in our communities. We'd like to extend our appreciation to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office. And I'd like to introduce Ryan Mears, who's the Chief of the Major Felony Division.
Once again, my name is Ryan Mears with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office. I want to thank our partners in law enforcement at the IMPD. I want to thank Chief Waters. I want to thank Captain Allender of the Violent Crimes Unit. And this investigation truly was a partnership. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office has a deputy prosecutor specifically assigned to Captain Allender's division. That deputy prosecutor works hand in hand with that unit to assist in the development and planning of long-term investigations, which is exactly what you see here today. Today is the result of that cooperation. And as a result of that cooperation, you see 35 guns have been removed from the street. We have a significant amount of heroin that's been removed from the street. And more importantly, we've identified key players that are part of this criminal enterprise who have been selling stolen guns, who've been giving guns to individuals who, under the law, have no right to own or possess those firearms. This is an important investigation because it addresses some of the city's most pressing problems. As everyone in this room probably knows, one of the things we struggle with each and every single day is heroin, and how do we combat the issue of heroin in our community. And the other thing we constantly are dealing with is how do we prevent convicted felons from owning and possessing firearms. And what this investigation does today is it addresses both of those issues, but more importantly, we're addressing the top of the organization. These individuals were not bit players. These were individuals who were significant players in the distribution of both narcotics and firearms. And today we've sent a very strong message that the Marion County Prosecutor's Office with our partners at IMPD are going to be extremely proactive in addressing these issues. We understand that this is only a first step, but it is a step in the right direction, and I appreciate our friends in law enforcement, especially IMPD and the Violent Crimes Unit, for all of their work. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Laura. I'm the Deputy Chief of Investigations. I want to go over a little bit of the facts of the case and kind of how we got started and how we got to today's press conference. But this investigation started back in April of 2015, orchestrated by the Violent Crimes Unit of IMPD. This started with an anonymous narcotics tip that led to this investigation. It was the group that was targeted was a group by the name of that went by the name of Pond's Army. This organization started back in the Hallville area back in the 1980s, I think, when it first was even mentioned of a Pond's Army. Obviously, we're way past 1980. However, that's where this kind of started. The primary target of the investigation was mostly northwest. It involved heroin distribution, firearms trafficking, and a enormous amount of guns being transferred to serious violent felons. As of today, there's been 13 arrests made, 11 in the last 2 days, and we have one outstanding arrest warrant for an individual that's not in custody. The charges on the individuals that have been arrested consisted of conspiracy to distribute narcotics with gang enhancements added to that, conspiracy to provide firearms to serious violent felons. As has been already indicated, this was a joint operation consisting of many different units. I want to mention a few of them. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office, which is always instrumental in getting to this point. So I want to thank them. The Violent Crimes Unit out of the Narcotics Branch run by Captain Dave Allender. Southwest District Narcotics, Metro Drug, our SIU unit, our ESU unit, and the DEA. 35 guns have been recovered so far. As indicated, heroin and cocaine have been seized, about $15,000 in cash, 50 controlled substances that would consist of pills, 6 vehicles, 1 motorcycle, and one of the locations that was a search warrant was conducted on was a daycare facility on the southwest side of Indianapolis. I'm sorry, the northwest side of Indianapolis. This is an ongoing investigation. We anticipate additional arrests being made as we continue to investigate this. During the course of the investigation, it was brought to our attention that IMPD civilian was involved in part of this investigation. That civilian, that became aware to us on 9/15 of this year. The investigation was assigned in cooperation with our SIU unit. And on 9/17 of this year, the individual was placed on leave without pay, pending the outcome of the investigation, and all computer access was turned off. She is currently facing termination. We will take a few questions at this time. Thank you.
Bill, what type of access to information did this woman have, and what did she do with it?
We're still currently looking at all her access, but we know that, and there is an internal investigation going on at this point, but we know she had access to NCIC and IDAX.
Which would give her access to what type?
To stolen property records, BMV records, vehicle information, everything that's contained in in that NCIC IDAX database.
Bill,
Wanted persons.
How involved was this daycare in this investigation? How involved was the daycare?
I'll have to turn that over to the prosecutor's office or to Captain Allender.
Go ahead, Ron.
As it relates to the daycare, it's important to remember that this was a long-term investigation. We discovered the involvement of the daycare very later on in the investigation. We are still considering whether or not we're going to file charges involving the daycare. It's important to remember that regardless of what is filed, the lead charge will be the conspiracy to deal charges, which are level 2 felonies.
Was it because of the stash house? What was the role of this?
We did execute a search warrant at the location where the daycare is located. We did find narcotics inside of that daycare. You can draw your conclusions from that.
How do you protect that sensitive information that this employee had access to, and will you do anything differently in the future to prevent something like this?
When it was brought to our attention, we obviously took action immediately on the employee, and we turned off all access to that employee. We are in the process now of evaluating the system, what red flags are available to us, what kind of reports that would maybe be able to be generated through the IDAX coordinator, which is actually through the Indiana State Police. So we are in the process of putting some parameters together and seeing what we can to start red flagging some of this use.
Can you tell us what the employee did as far as accessing the computer and what for?
I'm not going to speak to the specifics of the case, but provided information to this organization out of NCIC and IDAX.
A couple more questions. And has she been formally charged at this point?
She has been arrested.
All right, Chief Waters, you want to close this out?
Yeah. I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank our investigators. They worked tirelessly on this case, and I want to make sure that they're recognized for their great work, and also remind everybody that if they have any other information that are helpful, that they can contact Crime Stoppers 262-TIPS, and special note of gratitude for Sergeant Garth Womeyer, who really led this and did a fantastic job.
Chief, can you tell us a little bit about, looking at, your mugshots over there, we've had block burners, we've had smoke show, we've had, family ties, so, it obviously looks like in different parts of town, the Grundy crew, you're starting to make some real progress in uniformly dismantling a lot of people that for years have been controlling the drug trade in this town.
Yes, that is true, and we're not finished. We're still pushing. We really, I think, have come a long way with working collaboratively with the communities. They seem to have a much lower tolerance for violence in their neighborhoods, and that's really been helpful in our investigations and helping us dismantle these criminal enterprises.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.